breaking news of a huge apartment fire in Westminster. It trapped people inside and sent multiple people to the hospital after neighbors, police, and firefighters rushed in to save them. This is some video. You can see the flames shooting out of the windows of this big apartment complex this morning. We can now confirm 2 people died in this fire. 9 are in the hospital as we speak. The fire started about 2:15 this morning at the Westbury apartments. They're north of Denver, just west of I-25 and south of 120th Avenue. And that's where Channel 2's Evan Krugel has been all morning long. And now, Evan, despite the heartbreak and the tragedy there, you've just learned some incredible news.
Yeah, that's right, Matt. Already some pretty incredible stories coming out of this early morning tragedy here. Just a few moments ago, a 5-year-old service dog was just pulled from that window there on the bottom level, and we have him right here. This is 5-year-old Kush with Ashley Baring. Ashley, this is your mother's service dog. She's currently in the hospital after this fire. Incredible morning for you. Tell me about what just happened and about your morning so far.
I woke up to my phone blowing up that my mother was in the hospital. She was very worried about him. She's going to have to stay there for a little while, but he was in the fire for the last 7 hours. They were putting it out when I first showed up, and they didn't want to go in because they were scared it was going to collapse. And they broke the bedroom window, and he was laying on her bed just kind of waiting for her. He is kind of aggressive, especially if he's, waiting for mom and not trying to leave. But he, they busted it out, and he wasn't able to see too much in the first minute, but he's literally back to normal, drinking and went potty. So I'm like really blessed that he's still with us.
As a dog owner, this is really hard to, just hard to grasp. Describe that moment when he came out alive, and what that's like to tell your mother then that he's okay.
Oh yeah, hearing her cry for the first time, but tears of joy definitely was probably one of the best feelings ever, because this is literally her best friend. She's a double amputee, and she's got a lot going on, and so he's got blood clot problems. He just had surgery, and so they're I don't know, 2 peas in a pod. It's really good to have him here.
Was he able to help her get out, you think?
I know that he was scratching at her, she said, so that's what woke her up originally, and then people pounding on the window is how she knew where to go. But they had a Jaws for life her out of the window. And so, and he just waited on her bed until she came, until he heard my voice at least, which is, as long as he heard somebody was here for him, he was happy. He came out wagging his tail. So, yeah, it was, a sigh of relief, huh, babe? You're crying a little bit, huh?
Yeah, a lot.
I don't blame you. Wow, incredible moment. All right, thank you, Ashley. I appreciate it. We're going to catch back up with Ashley and Kush here in a couple of minutes. However, obviously the big story here, the tragedy that 2 people are dead following this fire. We did speak with some other neighbors who were here right when that fire started, rushing in to try and help. Here's some of their reactions.
Very scary because it happened very, 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 very fast.
It was just after 2 o'clock when Jacob Hughes smelled smoke across the street.
I then went down into this hallway down here where I saw flames coming up the walls.
Within 5 minutes, he says flames had spread to the top floor of the Westbury apartment complex.
It was out of control, like instantly. Instantly was out of control. There was no stopping it. It turned into a monster fast. A monster is what I would call this fire.
People inside jumped from 2nd and 3rd story windows to escape. 1 person was killed inside. Fire crews took 10 more people to the hospital, where a 2nd person later died.
It's a large, long building with multiple areas of entrance and exit. So getting to those people was extremely difficult for us.
Neighbors wasted no time jumping in to help.
There was 4 young men on scene right away with fire extinguishers trying to help, trying to evacuate people, trying to get people out. Unfortunately, the fire came down the hallways and was trapping people on that side. So there were several people that were let out of their windows, off their balconies, so on and so forth. There was several people helping catch people.
This morning, plenty of questions remain, including what started the fire and what's next for those who call this building home.
A lot of heartache tonight.
You can see fire crews still working to put out some hot spots on this building back here live this morning. We're told there are 69 units here. None of those will be inhabitable tonight, so all of those people will have to find somewhere else to live, likely for the foreseeable future, potentially forever, looking at the extensive damage to this building. They are currently being housed at a local middle school, at least for tonight. So that's the latest on those families that have been displaced by this fire. Crews tell us they will be here throughout the rest of the day and potentially into tomorrow as they try and figure out what started this deadly fire. We're live this morning in Westminster. Evan Krugel, Channel 2 News.
All right, Evan, thank you. Despite the tragedy up there, amazing to see the survival story. That service dog there you talked about, waking up his owner in the middle of the night, a double amputee, scratching at her face. That family, again, just must be incredibly amazed that the dog was able to do that despite all the tragedy going on around it.
Yeah, just incredible emotions out here this morning. Obviously, lots of tears from sadness, but that was one positive that's come out of this morning.
And I'm sure we'll hear other stories of people being rescued again by neighbors, by police, and by firefighters. Channel 2's Evan Krugel in Westminster this morning. Evan, thank you for that.